Which quote is most improved by tacking here, in the middle of this olive garden to the end of it. Be not afraid of greatness, some are born great, some achieve greatness and some have greatness thrust upon them, here, in the middle of this olive garden. I'm not locked in here with you, you're locked in here with me, here, in the middle of this olive garden. If you let my daughter go now, that'll be the end of it. I will not look for you, I will not pursue you. But if you don't, I will look for you, I will find you, and I will kill you here, in the middle of this olive garden. I ate his liver with some fava beans and a nice Chianti here, in the middle of this olive garden. I was born a poor black child here, in the middle of this olive garden. No, Mr. Bond, I expect you to die here, in the middle of this olive garden. Mrs. Robinson, you're trying to seduce me here, in the middle of this olive garden. Is Wayne Brady gonna have to choke a bitch, here, in the middle of this olive garden? We shall go on to the end. We shall fight in France, we shall fight on the seas and oceans, we shall fight with growing confidence and growing strength in the air, we shall defend our island, whatever the cost may be. We shall fight on the beaches, we shall fight on the landing grounds, we shall fight in the fields and in the streets, we shall fight in the hills, here, in the middle of this olive garden. Operation Market Olive Garden. Aurora Borealis? Here? At this time of year? Localized entirely here, in the middle of this olive garden? Andy Dufresne, who crawled through a river of shit and came out clean on the other side here, in the middle of this olive garden. The line must be drawn here. This far, no further. Here, in the middle of this olive garden. You come to me here, and you ask me for a favor, on this, the day of my daughter's wedding here in the middle of this olive garden? They made me a salad that I couldn't refuse. As God is my witness, I'll never be hungry again here, in the middle of this olive garden. Dread it, run from it. Destiny arrives all the same, here, in the middle of this olive garden. This didn't even cross my mind. I already posted one as a top comment, but I'll put it here since it's relevant. You could not live with your own failure, and where did that bring you? Back here, in the middle of this olive garden. Thanos after having out-eaten the Avengers on endless salad and breadsticks 5 years prior. Thor has been training particularly hard for this rematch. Friends, Romans, countrymen, lend me your ears, I come to bury Caesar here, in the middle of this olive garden. Properly thematic means an upvote from me, pal. Mr. Gorbachev, tear down this wall, here, in the middle of this olive garden. Wait, stop. That's a load-bearing roof collapsing noises. It's over Anakin, I have the high ground, here in the middle of this olive garden. I did not have sexual relations with that woman, Miss Lewinsky here, in the middle of this olive garden. Our arrows will blot out the Sunday. Then we will fight in the shade, here, in the middle of this olive garden. Spartans. Tonight we dine in hell, here in the middle of this olive garden. The target area is only 2 meters wide. It's a small thermal exhaust port, right below the main port, here, in the middle of this olive garden. Ready your breakfast and eat hearty. For tonight, we dine here, in the middle of this olive garden. Ahoo, ahoo, ahoo. 77 years ago our fathers brought forth on this continent, a new nation, conceived in liberty, and dedicated to the proposition that all men are created equal here, in the middle of this olive garden. I couldn't stop for death but he kindly stopped for me here in the middle of this olive garden. Edit, excuse me what the fuck my top post is about me quoting Emily Dickinson in a fucking olive garden. Do not go gentle into that good night. Rage, rage against the dying of the light. Here, in the middle of this olive garden. God is dead. God remains dead. And we have killed him, here, in the middle of this olive garden. Nizish. Hello, my name is Inigo Montoya. You killed my father. Prepare to die here, in the middle of this olive garden. In less than an hour aircrafts from here will join others from around the world and you will be launching the largest aerial battle in the history of mankind. Mankind, that word should have new meaning for all of us today. We can't be consumed by our petty differences anymore. We will be united in our common interests. Perhaps it's fate that today is the 4th of July and you will once again be fighting for our freedom. Not from tyranny, oppression, or persecution, but from annihilation. We're fighting for our right to live, to exist. And should we win today, the 4th of July will no longer be known as an American holiday, but as the day when the world declared in one voice, we will not go quietly into the night. We will not vanish without a fight. We're going to live on. We're going to survive. Today we celebrate our Independence Day. Here, in the middle of the Olive Garden. In the beginning God created the heaven and the earth was without form and void, and darkness was upon the face of the deep. Here, in the middle of this Olive Garden. Jesus wept, here, in the middle of this Olive Garden. Parmesan 1135. Sons of Gundor. Of Rohan. I see in your eyes the same fear that would take the heart of me. A day may come when the courage of men fails, when we forsake our friends and break all bonds of fellowship. But it is not this day. An hour of wolves and shattered shields when the age of men comes crashing down. But it is not this day. This day we fight. By all that you hold dear on this good earth, I bid you stand. Men of the West. Here, in the middle of this Olive Garden. Don't tempt me, Frodo, here, in the middle of this Olive Garden. One ring to rule them all, one ring to find them, one ring to bring them all. And in the darkness bind them, here, in the middle of this Olive Garden. For God so loved the world that he gave his one and only Son, that whoever believes in him should not perish but have eternal life, here, in the middle of this Olive Garden. Gives new meaning to unlimited breadsticks. This is your last chance. After this, there is no turning back. You take the blue pill, the story ends, you wake up in your bed and believe whatever you want to believe. You take the red pill, you stay in Wonderland and I show you how deep the rabbit hole goes. Here, in the middle of this Olive Garden. This is one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind, here, in the middle of this Olive Garden. Here, in the middle of this Olive Garden. Fun fact, the moon landing was, in fact, staged in the middle of a large Italian restaurant. Ah! I love the smell of napalm here, in the middle of this Olive Garden. The man who sheds his blood with me shall be my brother, however humble he may be, this day will elevate his status. And gentlemen in England, still lying in their beds, will think themselves accursed because they were not here, and be in awe while anyone speaks, who fought with us upon St. Crispin's Day, here, in the middle of this Olive Garden. Revision, as per comment thread below. We few, we happy few, we band of brothers, for he today that sheds his blood with me shall be my brother, be he ne'er so vile this day shall gentle his condition, and gentlemen in England now a bed shall think themselves accursed they were not here and hold their manhoods cheap whiles any speaks that fought with us, here, in the middle of this Olive Garden. EDIT2, I'm hijacking my own comment. Forward, the Light Brigade. Was there a man dismayed? Not though the soldier knew someone had blundered. There's not to make reply. There's not to reason why. There's but to do and die. Here, in this Olive Garden. I have had it with these motherfucking snakes here, in the middle of this Olive Garden. Motherfucking Olive Garden asterisk. I've seen things you people wouldn't believe. Attack ships on fire off the shoulder of Orion. I watched sea beams glitter in the dark near the Tannhauser Gate. All those moments will be lost in time, like tears in rain. Time to die. Here, in the middle of this Olive Garden. There's 106 miles to Chicago, we've got a full tank of gas, half a pack of cigarettes, it's dark out, and we're wearing sunglasses, here, in the middle of this Olive Garden. I used to be an adventurer like you until I took an arrow to the knee here, in the middle of this Olive Garden. I haven't been fucked like that since grade school, here, in the middle of this Olive Garden. I want to have your abortion, here, in the middle of this Olive Garden.